If you're at all familiar with the Traxxas TRX4, then this thing doesn't really need any introduction. The ultimate RC hauler has already had a tough day in the office. We're at the back end of doing the 6 problem course. I've just finished it, and I thought I'd do it that way around because, again, for many of us who are into crawlers, and even if you're new to crawlers, the TRX4 is pretty much ubiquitous. It's everywhere. And a lot of people aren't necessarily going to want to do what I've just done to mine, and understandably, because the draw of this thing, well, it's 2 things really. It's the bed and it's the presence, the aesthetic, how pretty it is. You don't want to throw that over something like my 6 problem course. Let me do that. This was brand new out of the box today. I just pulled my Kyosho around the property and it had the 4 straps that it comes with to secure it onto the bed. And if you're wondering, it does come with the winch plate as well, but no winch. Now this has been discussed a lot online already since this thing came out. The bed doesn't tip and slide. There is at least one mob already making them. There's a USA husband and wife small business. I'll link it in the description. I messaged them, I don't know, 5 or 6 weeks ago just asking about some parts. I haven't heard back from them. I understand they're pretty busy though, judging from their website. I've got a few other ideas though, and I'm thinking of actually removing the bed entirely. Well, you'll see that in a coming video. I wanted to get a baseline for its performance first. To problem 1. We're on problem 1 and problem 2 at the same time here. For a bumper, he's getting squished. Kind of cool, isn't it? There we go. Alright, problem solved done. Wasn't bad, was it?
Fazer.
Alright, we couldn't do problem 3, couldn't do problem 5, couldn't do problem 6. We did 1, 2 and 4. Now the hardware underneath is enough to, I think it was enough to survive what we did, because these things were twisted up and pressed together like they were really raked together. The running gear on the TRX4 is known to be good, and it survived. I mean, things would have got pretty hot. I haven't been driving for 5 or 6 minutes while I just got the camera ready to have this chat. The motor's still warm. The servo was fading badly, but we all know the servo is no good. It's a 2075X. It's fine for trailing and light crawling use. But if I was to subject it, do you know what? I can't say it's no good because it did survive. It stopped working and like I had to reset the car once, but it's still intact, I think. Yeah. So it's slow and it's not a crawler servo, but it's a light crawling servo. And for this rig, it's actually a better match than it is in most TRX4s, because this is the one that will see the least rock crawling, I would think. It is actually a standard TRX6 underneath. It just has the additional drive shaft, and that's where your extra length is. And of course, the body is longer as well. The TRX6 does fit on the back of this tray, so this is actually quite large. I'll just pop the body off and show you underneath. Now we've got lights on the bed which are always connected. There we go. So the body clips go in through the back of the body and then protrude up on the top. And this cable comes out really easily. I had to fiddle to get it plugged in. That's what your wiring looks like under the cabin. My double-sided tape hold downs weren't all stuck on, so I pressed them on today and now they're good. So you've got your double actuators at the back for your diff lock. And your switch does the front one first and then the second one. I did change the battery connector as well to an XT60. I was looking at performance today. As far as the damage report goes, obviously all our black chromed plastic pieces are badly scuffed. Paint's missing from the chassis where it was touching. And honestly, this thing got abused. Like, these tires were touching and grinding over each other, but everything is intact. It is well made. It didn't go quite as well as I thought it might, but that's just because I know how good the TRX6 is. But again, this bed, I mean, from the top of my head down, this vehicle goes from the top of my head to my belt. It really is a lot of vehicle. So it shouldn't be surprising with a departure angle like that, that we struggled. But otherwise, hey, it's not bad. And when it was carrying a car, it didn't seem to bother it. Now I tried putting some heavier stuff on here and it really battered down too much. So you'd need to put tougher springs in there and probably stiffer foams if you wanted to carry anything more than a little road car like what I have. Configuration wise, it's a standard TRX4, so you get the standard top qualifier radio. I'd recommend it if you want a tray, if you want to pull some stuff around, because it is fun, but it does have a limited novelty value unless you are really into the scale, so it's a personal preference thing. What's a better crawler, this or the TRX6? It's easy. The TRX6 did what we just did, but all 6 problems in the wet. This got 3 out of 6 and struggled. And also, not all the screws are done up tightly. Yeah, I'll have to go over that. If you could only have one of the two and you wanted a 6-wheel drive, get the TRX6, unless you want the tray, in which case the Ultimate Hauler is obviously cool. It is mildly disappointing that the windows aren't see-through and that, like, the grill's a sticker. Even my son, who's not 10 yet, looked at it and said, oh, is that a sticker? And if the kid's disappointed, then yeah, well, that kind of says it. That should have been a plastic interface, just given how much this thing costs. Oh, and also these things are, they're shackles. They're not molded as part of the bumper. They are actually shackles that move, like they're bolted in behind on the chassis. The lights are great. The stickers and stuff, it's a bit of a letdown, but it's a minor letdown. Overall, I think Traxxas have succeeded in making a very fun, very desirable thing. My boy's not actually into crawling. He's not really into RC. But when he saw this the other day, he said, Dad, if I could have a crawler from your whole place, I want this. And I thought, wow, okay, so my boy is actually interested in this, and I can see why. Who doesn't want to lug a bunch of stuff around on the back, yeah? Anyway, if you got something out of this, throw me a like. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to do a bit more on this, but it's not going to be a standard review kind of thing, but I do have a few plans for this, so stick around for that. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch you next time on RC-TNT.